Okay, that was a nice little walk. Just one lap around the park. Nothing too crazy or nothing too ambitious. And it was nice to do that and get some fresh air. Um, so, yeah, I'm happy that I did that. Um, and I did listen to myself in my videos that I recorded today just to, because I like to listen back before I put them all together and upload them. And the other thing that I want to say is that sometimes I can have a habit of, you know, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith, who is the person that I follow, spiritually speaking. One of the many people, but he's one that I resonate with, and he constantly is talking about essentially the fact that people have a habit or an addiction to complaining. And so, with that being said, I do try to be conscious of recognizing my feelings, owning my feelings, not spiritually bypassing myself, which sometimes I can do, and recognizing that I have feelings, but not staying caught up in those feelings and repeating the same stories over and over and over again as if I'm a victim of life. And so, I give people permission to be themselves and be who they are. It's just that I do not really like to be around people who are constantly have an addiction to complaining. Everything always irritates them, gets on their nerves, or they don't like this and they don't like that. And, the reason also why I say that is because in 2024, I almost died. I went to the emergency room and they ended up having to do emergency surgery on me. And what I had was something that normally people die from within 24 to 48 hours. But thankfully, they fixed it and I didn't pass away. And so I think I sometimes have a different perspective on life just in general. Yes, things bother me. As you can see in this vlogging process, things bother me and things irritate me and I complain about things as well. But I just don't like to be around people who are just chronically negative, chronically fear-based, chronically doom and gloom, chronically a victim of people always doing stuff to them. Like, I really don't resonate with that and don't like to spend time in that kind of energy. So anyways, maybe I'm done for the day vlogging, who knows? But I listen back to this stuff and it's like, oh, one more thing. I got to add one more thing. So we'll see. I still have more of my videos that I recorded to listen to. So we'll see if I have anything else to say. If I don't, continue to make it a great day. Yep, more to say. So this is not how I was growing up. I was very, very pessimistic. I always thought that I was the type of person who was being quote unquote real in all the things. It's not until I started learning metaphysics and journaling and going to therapy way back in the early 2000s that things started to change for me. So I don't want to pretend like this is how I've always been. It's just more so once I discovered the self-help section or the new age section in the bookstore, a lot of things have changed. A lot of my practices have changed. A lot of my thought processes have changed. The stories I tell myself, my belief system, and I still work on it all the time, which is why I don't want to be around negative energy or vibrations, because I'm trying to still work on my damn self, my beautiful self. Don't say my damn self. And so anyway, do you and be who you are. It's just that we may not be able to spend that much time together because I'm working on me and I'm constantly reading and doing self-development and and learning how to have a wonderful life and be in joy and happiness one day at a time, every day, not just, fleeting moments of happiness, but actually having a joyful practice and a practice of joy on a daily basis. And I still haven't finished The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I go in and out of books. I've also been reading or listening to some audio books, but I'm not going to share at least one of the books because that would kind of give away something that I don't want to kind of call out somebody else in the process of the book that I have read. But I am a continuous work in process and don't want to surround myself with negative energy or people who are woe is me. And what's funny is that I heard something the other day and they were talking about Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, I think. And they used to call me Eeyore way back in the day when I was at Price Waterhouse. And I guess that's how I sounded and I answered the phone. And so it has taken a lot for me to change and to find joy in the simple things. And highly still recommend a book called Happy for No Reason. I think her name is Marcy Smirnoff, something like that. Anyway, Happy for No Reason was a pivotal book for me. There's a lot of pivotal books, but that was one of them. So I know I said that I didn't want to disclose one of the books that I read recently, but Oprah recently did a podcast, and she did it talking about people who were going no contact with family members. And she had a person named Nedra Tawwab. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right, but I had bought her book called Boundaries before. And I've been working on doing better with communicating my boundaries. And I've also been listening a lot to an author named Terry Cole, who is talking about high functioning codependency, as well as she has a book called Boundary Boss and a book called Too Much. And so I've really been listening to a lot of their content on YouTube. And then also too, I've been listening to some content related to attachment styles. I've been interested in that. And I've also been interested in nervous system regulation and dysregulation and stuff like that. So, it's not that I don't want to talk about anything, but that's the kind of stuff that that I'm interested in, and that's the frequency I'm on is stuff more like that, and more deep thoughts and emotion. I don't necessarily want you to have like issues where you want to dump on me emotionally or anything like that, but just more so things that relate to self-awareness and self-discovery and stuff like that is more so what I'm interested in. And so I just want to say that I did practice some boundaries with some people recently. And, I've been going with low stakes boundary practice, and it has actually worked out pretty well. So I'm excited about the future and doing better with being more upfront about my wants, needs, desires, preferences, etc. And being more authentic in that way. I think that I have historically had challenges with expressing boundaries and fears around that. And like I said, I've been doing better with practicing boundaries, and sometimes they've worked. Sometimes I've had to reiterate, okay, I said what I said, and maybe you didn't hear me the first time, but here's a boundary. Not in that way, but you know what I mean? Just kind of okay, I thought they got it the first time, and now I'm going to have to do it again. But I've really been kind of working on that as well, as being more authentic in terms of my thoughts, feelings, desires, wants, needs, preferences, etc. So that's the frequency that I'm on and the types of things that I'm interested in talking about, as opposed to you sending me a bunch of Trump videos. I don't care about any Trump shit. Like, I'm not saying that I don't watch certain things on YouTube every once in a while. Sometimes I might watch Don Lemon or Joy Reid or Jasmine Crockett. Like, sometimes I might watch that because I'm in the mood for it. But am I going to sit around talking to you about it like I know what the hell I'm talking about? No. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I will also say that in that same Oprah podcast with Nedra, they also had an author named Lindsay something or another, and she has a really good book called Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. And no shade to my parents or anybody else's parents, but and no necessary criticism or judgment of my parents, but that is also a really, really good book. When you have grown up around people where you question that they might be adults, but question their emotional maturity or immaturity, that was a really good episode. And there has been a time where I have gone no contact with some family members, and it was a really good episode. But again, this is not an indictment regarding my parents or anything, but I will post at the end of this video some of the books that I've been interested in. Also, the podcast that Oprah did with T.D. Jakes was also very good. I don't really follow T.D. Jakes too much, but every once in a while I might catch it. And the podcast that Oprah did with him, I thought was really good and really inspirational. I like inspirational things.